Come on, Scarecrow, man. We have to do a video.
I can't. You had to believe me. I was bitten by a werewolf.
Man, it was all, come on. Man, it was all a dream.
No, you gotta believe me. Well, I want no one to believe me. You don't believe me.
Come on, Scarecrow. Wake up, sleepyheads. I'm the Sandman.
And I'm Scarecrow.
And we're R-rated.
Thanks for joining us again today, guys, for a Keeping It Real video, where we're keeping it real by watching some of your favorite classic horror movies. Today we're going to be watching Wolfman from 1931?
41.
41. So guys, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so I actually hadn't watched this movie until last night. And honestly, I have been truly enjoying these classic movies as we've been watching it throughout the series here. And Wolfman wasn't a letdown. Like, it wasn't my favorite. Dracula was my favorite. But we'll talk about that for another video. So, Sandman, kind of tell us, you seem to really enjoy this movie.
I do. I really enjoyed the Wolfman. I was a major Dracula fan at first, and Frankenstein, and I watched the Wolfman later. Lon Chaney's acting is over the top.
Yeah.
But, when I first watched it, I was kind of, making fun of it. But the more you watch it, it kind of suits his character.
It truly does. Like, and I thought we had to do Wolfman because we've done vampires and watched their arch nemesis, the werewolf. And like you said, it's one of your top favorite horror classic movies of all time.
Of the classics, I know for a fact it is within the top three, no doubt, hands down. And I do like the Wolfman meets Frankenstein also, which is all the only two Wolfman movies that they made. They had made a ton of Dracula movies. They'd made Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, Ghost of Frankenstein, House of Frankenstein. They kept going, but there was only two Wolfman movies, and that was the other one, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, which is another Frankenstein.
Now, one of the best parts of this movie has to be the scenes.
I love the scenes. As Retro and I spoke about, the scenery and the backgrounds where they were painted on glass, those were just beautiful to look at. And the forest on this one, the forest scene on this one, where there's always the fog, they don't do that anymore. I don't know why. I would love to see a modern video. I mean, with that kind of fog, that scene in the forest, I don't think it's been matched in today's cinema.
Right, like, you actually have movies called The Fog and The Mist, and it was nowhere near.
No, it doesn't look that. I mean, of course, it's thicker, so you're going to see more coming at you. But
and it looked more natural.
Yeah,
like
it really
The Mist,
did.
it just like disappeared off screen. This, they was actually moving, and it would move
around them. Yeah, I mean, however they did that in the 40s, I believe, in my opinion, it's better than what they do today. I'm not saying they couldn't do it today, but for some reason they refuse to do it today.
And also, it had a lot of close-up shots to these sceneries. Like there'd be one or two trees, and it just kind of it felt simple, but it felt great, like kind of comforting.
Yeah, you see a few trees, and if you notice, it used the same trees over and over again. But I mean, it didn't bother me, which is one point I wanted to ask you, since you've watched you came along after those were gone, which of course I'm not that old. I'm immortal, so. But you came along after those were already out, and they didn't show them around, and you watched all these new horror movies and films. How do you feel now, like when you watch that? I mean, are you like? Because the Wolfman, it doesn't have all the jumps, all the special effects. I mean, it fades in from one scene to another, so it's like almost like stop action. It doesn't have a big the jump thing. I mean, he's basically walking on his tiptoes when it does show him.
Right, like, honestly, I would have to say you can't even compare them. Like, you have today's horror, which is effective. You do have your jump scares, and some of them have pretty good story. This, it was all story. There was no jump scares like you and Retro talked about.
Exactly.
And one of my favorite parts of the whole movie, as soon as it starts, from intro cards to credit rolls, the plot is constantly in play. He gets there. You find out about his dead brother, that his family is wealthy, he meets the girl that he really seems like he loves. It's kind of creepy. Now he comes off.
Yeah, he's
real
a
creepy.
pervert. He's sponsored. Well, with what guy would, if you saw a pretty girl, she wasn't doing anything bad? I mean, who would turn away?
Yeah, but then who would go to her shop?
That was
and
creepy.
be like, "How about those half moon earrings?
Yeah,
I seen on your cabinet."
That was pretty creepy. He's like, "Yeah, I'm a psychic."
They
They would not do that in today's
that would not
films.
work.
Yeah, they would not do. But did you notice there's like we were talking about earlier, in today's movies, in today's films, you know, everyone has to have a different character, which I understand that, but no character can be what any character. No character can be perfectly polite.
Right.
That would not work. Everyone wants to have some kind of, you know, smart attitude, some kind of comeback. You know, wants to be snappy and edgy.
Yeah.
But in there, everyone was just normal and plain and polite.
Yeah.
You know, like respectable, and I love that about it.
Yeah, they all seemed like average people, like people you would actually meet.
And they don't do it. Look at him.
Yeah.
We spoke about him in today's, cinema, in today's movies. He would not even get to be in a movie. There's no way he would be a movie star.
You'd have Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
You got the one over here killing.
The only person I think that actually, kind of seems like the normal, average Joe is Russell Crowe. I mean, he's never fit.
On Titans.
But he's never fit. He's never in great shape. He got
Right.
the best shape he was in with Gladiator, and he still wasn't in great shape.
Yeah.
And he's just plain looking. He's like someone you go to Walmart. Hey, there's Russell Crowe.
So, like we were saying, the plot is constantly going. He goes to the shop. He meets this woman. He also hears the story that the whole village seems to be talking
Yeah,
about.
because his dad also said the same story.
Yeah, the same story. The first victim, Jeannie, tells the same story. A good man who says his prayers at night.
He become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the moon is bright.
Yeah,
All the moon
something
is bright.
Yeah.
I
They all tell the same story about this wolf that apparently, the father mentions later, has plagued this village for at least like 5 generations. Because he said, for 5 generations now, this family has been able to avoid this curse.
I don't actually recall that. I remember saying stuff about
Yeah,
I thought it was referring to where he was going crazy, and there was always oh God, what's your last name again? Larry Talbert. How can I forget that? That's such a popular name. But it's so popular. Especially in the old movie, everyone knows it, but he said there's been a Talbert in that cast for like 5 centuries.
right.
One thing I wanted to point out also was, I pointed to you last night, we were talking about how it's different from today's movies.
Yeah.
Okay, I asked you last night, who was the star of the Wolfman?
There was none. It felt like everybody had an equal part.
But I mean, who got all the screen time? Who's the story about?
Larry.
Okay, the story about Larry.
Yeah,
That's Lon Chaney Jr.
It was based around Larry.
But Larry was not the hero. Who was the
not
hero?
The father was the hero.
Yeah, he was in a few scenes, maybe 4 or 5 scenes.
They didn't even believe that there was a monster until the end of it.
Yeah.
To where he sees his son turned into a wolf. And special effects, first time, were pretty nice. Of course, it was
I enjoyed it. I love those cheesy.
It wasn't over the top, like the Curse movie recently, but it was simple. It was effective. It was an hour runtime, so there was
an hour and 9 minutes. Wasn't that what we said?
Yeah.
That's how quickly though they didn't sidestep for any kind of sub story or sub plot. Yeah. You had the character. You knew what they were doing. You knew what the story about. Let's do it. I mean, that was their thing.
Yeah. But I have to point out that this was not a horror movie.
Well, really, what is? What
I mean,
consider making a
technically
horror
Dracula
movie?
it wasn't scary, but you can tell it's got that kind of theme to it. To where this one was a tragedy.
I did say that last night is more of a tragedy. It's the hero. I mean, however you look at it, his dad was the one who vanquished the monster.
Right.
But really, Lon Chaney Jr., Larry Talbot, he was actually the hero. I mean, it was made for him to be the hero.
Right.
But it was a tragedy. It was like a Greek tragedy,
Yeah. And this father just lost 2 sons.
When he lost him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty sad.
It is.
But on to one of our next points. The acting was way over the top. There was one scene.
I said it, but I loved it.
One scene in particular. Oh no! Why won't anyone believe me?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that. Oh, wow, you've got to believe me. Why won't you believe me? Oh, God, someone's got to. I'm telling you, come on, you've got to believe me. It's the same thing when he comes in with the the Wolfman meets Frankenstein the same way.
Yeah.
So I just loved it. Just fit his character.
And like
fit
today,
him.
you would see that and you'd absolutely hate it.
Yep, you
Like,
would.
oh
You'd
my
make
gosh,
fun of him. Like,
why do they keep hiring her? Why does
yeah, no one acts like that. But you know, those days, like what we spoke about, of course, but you don't see everyone being so nice and so polite.
Yeah.
You know, so of course it's totally different. Me, I like where you have everyone's respectable. You know, you don't. This guy's not a jerk. This guy's not on drugs. This guy doesn't go out and start fights. This guy's not a thief. This guy doesn't pimp his wife out. You know, that's how it would be today. Oh, here's a bunch of kids. This one's the bully. Blah 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 blah. Stereotypical stuff. That
every person in this movie felt like they had some kind of kindness to them. Even the first werewolf, he's like, "You have to leave."
Yeah, I mean, you see, he saw it. He was going to kill her, and please go. And I don't want to do this. Today, you could not do that. Everyone cannot be respectable. Yeah. Everyone has to have some kind of, as I said, edgy attitude. Yeah. You know, and I like that because now where they're trying to make everyone so different and edgy, everyone's the same. That is unique now because you don't see polite people in movies anymore.
Or you truly don't. And like now, they're kind of moving toward the comedy horror, which this had some comedy.
Action horror with the new Mummy.
Yeah.
With like a thing I watched the other day. It was actually an action movie. It wasn't the Mummy wasn't a horror movie. It was an action comedy.
The even newer Mummy.
That's what I was speaking of.
Action comedy. But a fun fact: Lon Chaney. His name Lon Chaney
Jr.
Lon Chaney Jr. He actually played it in the 4 movie monsters, big movie monsters: Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, and of course the Wolfman.
I think he played the Mummy twice, Frankenstein once, and Dracula.
I've not yet watched the Mummy.
He doesn't play the Mummy in that one. There's some later movies he plays it in. Okay. As for Frankenstein, I think it's.
Which he doesn't play the Dracula we watched either.
No, he plays it. It's another one, the son of Dracula, and he changed his name, but he's actually Dracula. Yeah. But he calls himself Alucard.
Right. Yeah. Dracula backwards, Alucard. But guys, if you're still watching the video, comment down below. What do you prefer, vampires or werewolves? I know my choice. It's obviously werewolves. Which brings me to my next point. The werewolf in this, he wasn't overly powerful. He wasn't overly fast. Yes, he did survive bullets.
Yeah, couldn't be killed, but when you watch Dracula, he wasn't really unstoppable either.
Right.
And when you watch Frankenstein, you haven't watched Frankenstein. When you watch Frankenstein, you give me some of the later Frankensteins, he gets caught and everything. If you give me 4 or 5 strong people, and we could take down Frankenstein.
Right.
They were more toned down. They weren't too OP, and that just made it very like this could be real because they're not so supernatural. They're supernatural, but not overly supernatural.
I was actually looking at some of the art for these 3 movies: Frankenstein, Dracula, and Wolfman. Alright, so the cool thing I noticed, I was looking at the artwork, and for Dracula, who was obviously evil, his backgrounds were dark and he was light, kind of contrasting. Frankenstein, who was kind of tender-hearted, was dark with light backgrounds, and the Wolfman was just kind of light with light. That's something about this movie. If you're watching this movie and thinking, okay, it's going to be a lot of werewolf scenes, this is what it would be like for a troubled heart to be going through this.
And there's another thing we should mention too is when he turned into the werewolf in this one, it's not like these modern day movies where I'm a werewolf, I'm going to fight, I'm going to overcome this somehow, and I'm not going to hurt this person I love. No. Yeah. When he turned into the werewolf, it doesn't matter who you are. He tries to kill the girl he loves. He tries to kill his dad. It's realistic. He doesn't even remember what happened. Yeah.
There's no
him. He's completely gone, and the wolf is 100% in control.
There's no reversing it. His father does have to take his life.
What there is reversed? Remember Maliva?
Well, yes.
There's a saying, as the water runs through, blah, blah.
That doesn't actually take it away. Which she does say, you wear this medallion and it would kind of subside. But
if that would have worked, it would work for her son. It would work for her son.
But overall, it was a pretty decent movie. It wasn't my favorite by far.
I give it a sweet dream. Well, no, probably give it Sleeping on Cloud 9.
So this is where I make a lot of people mad. I actually give it a 6.
6 out of 10?
6 out of 10. Which I think is fair.
But the way we're doing the point system is we're having 10 of the classic horrors,
Right.
You know, 1 is your least favorite, 2, 3, 10 is your favorite.
Yeah.
You haven't watched them all yet, so you don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
but for on
this
a
is-
scale of 1 to 10, you would give it a 6.
So if I watch more movies and then I find one that better fits the sit spot, this can go up or down. But we'll find out soon in the other videos. Which, you know, I might not be in a whole lot of other ones. Retro will be back, of course. So expect to see Retro again if you truly enjoyed watching him, because I did. I thought it was hilarious.
It was watching him talk. His William Shatner speaking at first, how he paused a lot. But he became more relaxed, as I think I am also. You've done this a lot more.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and end the video here today, guys. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on the bell so when the first ones know exactly when we upload. Also, comment down below if you enjoyed these classic videos, what movies you'd like to see after. We are still doing the 13 weeks of Halloween, continuing with probably Frankenstein next. So I'm pretty excited for that. Because as I'm watching these as we go along. But guys,
For the first time, it's good.
right. So guys, we'll see you soon.